Right, I've got that one in to the point where there was about 0.5 millimetre to 1 millimetre of raggy bit on the top, and I filed it flat. Used a deburring tool just to take the edge off. It fits in, snug fit, but it goes in. But the difference, I can't fucking get it out now. That one, when I pushed that one in, it was tight and wouldn't actually go in. So I'm wondering if that one was a little bit tighter. But that one, when I pushed it, just went in quite a long way just by hand. So I'm going to try again, see if I'm a little bit more successful this time. I've lost the fucking bolt now. Oh, it's a nut, sorry. See if this one's a bit more of a success. I took that one back out, by the way, and took that washer off. The washer that came with it, it was almost like the rocker locker had gone inside it. So I'm wondering if it's that caused it. We shall see. I was just trying to see who was coming up there. I'm expecting one of my mates turning up. Right. I'll have to get my spanner as well in a second, because that's disappeared. Oh, it's here, behind there. See, this one's just going in no problem. The bolt's too long for it. Sorry, the socket's too long for the... Right, and as you can see there, that's gone right in without an issue. And I won't lie, that's the first time as I say, I've only done about 6 sets in the last 5 years, but that's the first time I've had trouble with one. So we'll have that off. The good thing is the first one that cocked up, it's still completely covering the cutout, if you know what I mean. Hands are fucking oil. It does make the bolts a little bit snug to get out, but I've added that on every single set. But that's that one in, and that's how easy they should all be. I can't understand what was wrong with that one. I mean, I checked down the hole to make sure that the half moon cutout was sort of in line and the shaft wasn't slightly twisted, and that it was okay. So no, I don't know what's gone on there, but anyways, that's how a rocker locker should go in. that one didn't, and as you can see I've had to just very lightly file the top off and then deburr it. But as I say, there was only about 1mm sticking out when I'd finished. So that's that one done. Hopefully the others will go just as well. And now I've lost a bolt. The fuck's that one? Oh, it's here. It's hiding behind me. So again, for now, that's done. I'll get the other rocker lockers put in, and we'll get cracked on with the rest of it. Probably when I come back, I'll have probably put my cam cover back on. I'm not going to film that, it's just a case of putting it back on and bolting it in place with the new gasket. What I might do is come back, put the push rods in, but I might rebuild. Well, it's not a case of a might, I will be putting new seals in the push rod tubes. So I'll go through that again just so folk can see how they go together. I'll probably show the top part where the new breather, because I'll be putting new breathers in and everything. So I'll show how that's done. But for now, that's it. Back soon. Right. Cam cover back on. So I'm going to start on the push rod tubes. Now with the push rods, in the middle, got a little washer. On the top, or what I've also done is I've pulled all 4 top seals off out underneath the heads. They're quite fat, chunky ones. And then the ones that come out your lifter block tops, covers, are the same as the middle, but small. The lifter cover ones are bigger, but they're the same. Actually, they look quite big. No, getting it mixed up, getting my head going the wrong way. That is a top one, sorry. Yeah, that's a top one of the fat ones. Get myself all mixed up here. So, that's the bottom one, and that's the middle one. Now, they're a similar size in thickness, but obviously, as you can see there, the bottom one's a lot bigger diameter. So, in your kit, gasket kit, obviously you get 4 new top ones, 4 new middle ones, and 4 new bottom ones, obviously. So if I just grab one of each, put them on there. So get your top part of your push rod tube, get your middle bit, and just drop it over. Then you get your smaller middle washer, O-ring, and just push it on so far, and then you've got a flat washer that drops up against the O-ring. Then you've got a spring which drops up against the washer. Then you've got your bottom part of your push rod tube, which just pushes on there. You fucking idiot. Just built that in fucking backwards. Right, I'll start that again. So, push rod middle, spring, washer, seal. Serves me right for working upside down. Then your tube goes on, so your O-ring then pushes into the top of the bottom tube, and the spring pressure when you when you push it down, pushes the O-ring into the tube and a nice tight seal. So you've then got your bottom one, your bottom O-ring just slips on the bottom, and your top O-ring obviously on the top. So what I shall do is just push that in a bit, because I want these left loose. Now that's going to sit into there because it's going to the back, and this is the rear exhaust one. Now I need to put the push rod in as well, so get your push rod for your exhaust. Now your exhaust, standard this is, your exhaust's black push rod. The intake's like a grey, lighter grey colour. Also the exhaust is slightly longer than the intake. So I'll just feed that down there. Just take out the way. Now remember, I've got, just make sure that's in. Now I've just fed that down into there, so it's sitting in the top of the lifter. But if I just pop that out, I can actually look in and check, and it's sat in the top seat of there. So then just put that back, but I'm just leaving them, I'm not pushing them up into place yet. What I'll do now is I'll get, I've just showed you how to do the one, so I'll knock you off, I'll get the other three cleaned and new seals in, etc., and then get them put in, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing the rockers. Right, back soon. Right, got all my push rod tubes in loosely. I haven't pushed them up into the cylinder head yet. Got all my push rods in, and as you can see there, ignore the lengths, because obviously the cam things are at a different level, the followers are at a different level. But you see that's black, that's like a grey, silvery grey. So your exhaust push rods are black, intake silvery grey. What I'm just wanting to show you here is in the middle of the head, fucking flies, there's a brown O-ring. Well, brown, it could be fucking black, it could be fucking pink, but there's an O-ring that goes underneath your rocker gear. So I'm just going to show you that rocker locker kit. I was saying it came with two. They look about the same size, but the original's a bit thicker. I'm wondering if that's what they supply them for, to put under there. But if you've bought full gasket kit, you should have somewhere come on, out it comes. You'll have two of them in your gasket set. So I'm just going to put that, the new one, in. The other one's just in the bag. This is all like new breathers and the new sort of exhaust breather umbrella, flap, one-way valve, whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the rockers back in, and when I was taking them out, what I did, I've got the bike in, like, I think it's in third gear, and I move it and rock it about until the least pressure's on, if you know what I mean. So I won't film putting these on because it's 4 bolts, put Loctite on, etc. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them down so that they're finger nipped. You know, I'll use a spanner, but they're just nipped, they're not like pulled tight. because you've got to actually torque down your breather assembly before you torque down your your rocker assembly. So I'll get them put in place and then we'll come back. I just wanted to show that you've got to put the new washer in. Don't reuse old O-rings. For the price of them, it's not worth it. Right, back soon. Breather system, head breather system. I'll just pull these bolts out of the way. 2 bolts. So you've got your filter. Just a little. You get these new in the kit. Obviously a gasket on there which just peels off and can go in the pile of gaskets. And then split. These are always a pain in the ass to get apart. There's a little thing there where you can just lever it if you've got a screwdriver handy. See if Alan will do it. Just put it under the edge and just give it a twist. That's it, just popped it. So that's basically just a lid. Another gasket on the top of there. Again into the pile of scrap. And then you've got this, like an umbrella-y. When it's blown, it lifts up and blows the stuff in, which drops it down through this hole. So it comes up through that filter, the pressure builds up and lifts that flap, and then, as I say, drops through that hole there, and which drains back down into your head breathers, which come out of your cylinder heads. So basically, just pop the old umbrella out, as I call them. Just get rid of that. There's a cleanish rag. Just wipe any excess oil out of this, just so it's not all over my fingers. And I've done what I said I was gonna. Obviously the rockers are on, but they're just finger tight. Well, they're tightened down with a spanner, but they're just until it stopped. There was no force put into it, and they've bottomed out, if you know what I mean. So it's sitting. So I've got them to torque up, but you torque the breather up first. Right. Let me get a quick clean. I should have done this before, but I wanted to show it coming apart. Let's get rid of some of this oil. Right, so I'll just sit them on there for a minute and grab my bag of bits. Oh. So, new filter. I'll just put them on this foot peg. New flap. New gasket and new gasket. So that's the same again as left in that bag for the next one. So get your umbrella, push it, and that's it. Just give it a quick tug on the other end, and that's that. Yeah. Your filter has got a hole in it. Just squeeze it in, so it fits nicely into that hole. Simple gasket on the top. Plate back on. At this point I usually stick the bolts through just to keep it all aligned. Bolts in, turn it upside down, and drop the bottom gasket on. Right. Oh, look, the pipes fell off. I just heard some water rushing then, and pipe out, and the kitchen just fucking fell off the wall. Right, I'll just go and quickly put that back on. Back in a sec. Right, back again. I'm going to just put a couple of tiny drops of blue Loctite on this. That was a bit excessive. It doesn't have to come out of this fucking bottle quick. So I'll just dab a little bit of that one back off, because I don't want excessive amounts on. And then we'll get it jiggered into here. Wrong way, I think. Bit of a pain in the arse on this back cylinder. That's in. What I'll do, I'll just quickly wind these down by hand, and then I'll get my torque wrench out. Right, I'm going to just quickly put this down like that. I'm going to then quickly do the front one and get them torqued down. I want them to get torqued down before the Loctite sets on these bigger bolts. So I'll knock you off and I'll come back soon. Right, I nearly set off here to do a job and I wanted to show you how and never put the camera on. I've got all these torqued up. What I'm going to do now is put these push rods in properly. So, to get these apart without losing your O-ring off the top, just put your screwdriver on the bottom one and just sort of push. That gets them so you can shove it up into the top. Whoa, just get myself in a decent place. So you then make sure the bottom's still in. Push it up into the head and you'll feel it, it almost clips in, and then when it's up in the top just pull your bottom bit down, your middle bit that slides. Same on this one. Just make sure it's gone up properly into there and then pull the middle bit down. So next get your cover, get it up into the top, probably block your view here, push that down a bit, stick your screwdriver in, push the middle bit down and then basically just move it. Give it a waggle and make sure that you're happy that everything's in place. And you do that on all 4 of them. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'll finish putting them up. I'm going to clean the face of this and give it a bit of a wipe. I'm going to put my rocker boxes back on with the new gaskets which I've got here. The new rocker box gaskets, rocker cover gaskets should I say. And then there's a couple other things. What I'll do is I'll whip the oil filter off, put a new one on, put fresh oil in it, get the other bits and pieces bolted back, put the new bolts on the exhaust, etc. What I'm going to do is get it back to the point where I can press the button, turn the motor over and get some oil pressure to come up. Now the oil pressure will only be to the oil pressure switch, but I'll let it run a little bit longer, just building up a bit of pressure. And then we'll go for I'll bring you back and we'll go for a start and see what she sounds like. And that horrible rattly noise should be gone. Right, back later. Right, as you can see, it's all back together. Tanks back on, etc. I've new oil filter, topped the oil up, checked the oil level. And what I've done, off camera this is obviously, is I've had the ignition switched on and I've been turning it over with the plugs out and that. Just till the oil pressure goes up, and it's sort of been on and off with the starter, if you know what I mean. So give it so long, stop, give it so long, stop, just to try and get some oil pumping. Now I know it's not going to pump very far round, but it just gets it started. So what I'm going to do now is go for a start up. Now I haven't started it, that's stone cold. So I'll in fact, tell you what would be a good idea. Is put the plugs back in. So, yeah, as I say, I've turned it over just so that I'm just putting my plugs back in, by the way. Turned it over so that the oil started sort of pumping around a little bit. It wouldn't be enough to pump it right around the system. But it gets the pressure up a little bit down at the switch, and because I did it a few times, it should have got a little bit pumped. So that when it actually does start up, it's not starting up bone dry. Plug leads back on. Right. Now let's try again. This time it should start because it's got plugs in it. filters, bit of a success. I'm just going to leave it ticking over for a couple of minutes, get up to temperature. Obviously I won't film that, but it's pretty much going to be okay. Right, that's it for now, catch you next time.